Well, good morning. We're here this morning to brief out on a incident that just occurred involving an officer-involved shooting. Take a moment to introduce a few of the people that are here. We have Ms. Sylvia Hardman, who is the interim director of our Office of Police Oversight. We have Mr. Basil Ali here from City Legal, and then I have members of our executive team from our command staff, and then Dr. Dana Cadavy, who's here from our forensics division. I'll start this with the same that I say for these type of incidents. This information right now is very preliminary. This is still an active scene that we are working. We're still gathering evidence, and these are the facts as we know them at this time. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information to put out this morning, but I'll put out as much as I can. At 12:29 a.m. this morning, 911 received a call of a man with a gun. A witness advised, this person on the phone advised, that the man was holding a rifle and was pointing it across the street. The caller then advised that he appeared to be pointing it at a residence. The caller described the individual as a white male wearing dark clothing. 1 minute later, at 12:30 a.m., officers were dispatched to this, and they arrived on scene 3 minutes later at 12:33 a.m. As officers are en route, the caller continued to update 911, and that information was passed along to, obviously, to the officers. The caller stated that the subject was now firing his weapon and appeared to be firing it into a residence. Also advised that multiple shots were being fired by the subject. This is occurring as officers are pulling up on scene, and shots can be heard on the video that is coming from the officers' cameras as they are exiting their vehicles. Within seconds of officers arriving on scene, one officer engaged the subject by firing his duty firearm. The subject was struck and went down. Commands were being given by officers so that they could safely approach, and then they did immediately approach. They were able to secure the subject's weapon, and they began life-saving measures. Within a couple of minutes, at 12:37 a.m., EMS was cleared to go ahead and come into the scene, and they also began life-saving measures, and they transported the subject to the hospital. A short time later, the subject was pronounced deceased. No other persons were injured in this incident, and no officers sustained any injuries. As I mentioned a moment ago, we have one officer that fired his weapon during this incident, and per our policy, that officer will be placed on administrative duty. Officers on scene did have their body-worn and in-car cameras activated. That video is currently being reviewed, and per APD policy, it will be publicly released within 10 working days. In all of these all of these cases, there are two concurrent investigations that occur. The first is a criminal investigation that is conducted by our Special Investigations Unit, and that is done in conjunction with the District Attorney's Office. And then there's an administrative investigation that is concurrently done by our Internal Affairs Division, and that is overseen by the Office of Police Oversight. As I said, I don't have a lot of details to put out at this time. That's about the extent of the information that we know at this moment, but I don't know if there are any questions.
Did you identify the shooter?
You have to repeat it.
Do you know who the shooter was? Or, the person who was taken to the hospital and passed away?
I do not have that individual's information right now. I don't know whether he's been positively identified yet or not.
To be clear, he was firing at a residence from the street or from across?
You know, that is still under investigation. I'm relaying what was being told by the by the caller to 911. And certainly as officers are exiting their vehicle, you can hear the shots being fired, but unknown which residence and why.
Unknown which residence he was firing into.
Correct.
Do we know if he lived in the area?
We don't know at this time. Like I said, I don't know his identity or whether he's been positively identified yet, and don't know, again, why he was here and why he was firing those shots.
And again, you don't know whether or not he was inside or outside of a home.
He was outside of the residence at the time that this occurred, but again, don't know whether that was his home, someone else's home, don't know that information yet. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming.